Before I get started, I would like to take the opportunity to acknowledge the traditional owners of the land on which I'm recording today, the Yagara people. It is important to acknowledge that Australia is built on stolen land and that Indigenous Australians are the owners of the land and always have been. Hello you beautiful girls, gays and non-binary babes, my name is Lachie and welcome to my YouTube channel. I don't know if my makeup looks good, but I'm convinced it looks great, so...
Delusion. Convince yourself.
Today I'm really excited because it actually marks the first day of my incredible journey that I'm embarking on, where I'm finally uploading to YouTube a lot more. Super excited because this is something I've had access to for ages, but just haven't never done properly or consistently, and so obviously you guys don't really know me that well, and so to introduce you guys to me today, I thought I would go through the top 5 things that you should probably know about me before you decide to watch my videos or subscribe to my channel. So without further ado, let's get to the very first point. If you're clicking on this video, you probably don't have a clue on who I am, and if you're watching any other video on my channel, you also probably don't have a clue who I am. So I am an 18 turning 19-year-old Brisbane queer musician. When I say I'm queer, I mean I'm extremely queer. You could probably go to Urban Dictionary, look up the word queer, and the definition will just be a picture of my face. I've been around for 18 years now, as I said, but I've only really started getting into music and making my own music and making content for the last 3 years. So I'm really excited to start pushing stuff into your face, pew, pew. I hate myself so much. Obviously being a musician and singer-songwriter, I don't think I told you that I'm a singer-songwriter yet, but hi! But obviously being a singer-songwriter, I have inspirations that I kind of draw from aspects of their stuff, mix it into my own stuff. I'm gonna go through the most important musical inspirations because if I go through all my long list, it would probably be a 1-hour video for us to enjoy. Starting off, you've got Taylor Swift, Lady Gaga, Ariana Grande, Nicki Minaj, Beyonce, Rihanna, Conan Gray, Harry Styles, David Bowie, Amy Winehouse, Montaigne. And honestly, the list goes on, but I probably already cut a few out from what I've said. Lady Gaga and Taylor Swift are probably my biggest musical inspirations just because I feel like they've done so much for the industry, and also they're just so creative. I love how Taylor Swift writes, and all that stuff is so talented. If you haven't listened to Folklore or Evermore, her writing abilities was really off the charts there, and absolutely amazing, hence Folklore won Album of the Year this year. And Lady Gaga is just completely iconic, and I think she can inspire anyone in the LGBT community. Next thing I think is really important for me to talk about in this introduction video is the things that I believe in most, and that basically human rights. I think while we have come a long way from where we started, we've still got an incredibly long way to go when it comes to equality all around, especially with the recent rise in Asian hate crime. One community that you'll see me fighting for rights with is the LGBT community. I think while we have come a long way since we started fighting, we've still got an incredibly long way to go, especially with ending discrimination against transgender and non-binary lives. So take this as a reminder to always use the right pronouns with people, because it's gonna greatly improve their mental health. Speaking about mental health is also something that I'm greatly passionate about, and helping people who have mental illness struggles. I also want you to know that I'm not the type of person who only speaks about mental health when it's trendy, or only advocates for mental health with people that I like. Because at the end of the day, no matter where you come from, no matter who you identify as, no matter what your background is, I believe that it is always important to make sure that everyone's mental health is going nice and swimmingly. But with that being said, I think it's time to move on to the next point fact thingy. So obviously one of the things that you get to do when you finally get to know someone is you find out what they do with themselves, what they do in their spare time, and how their life is. So I thought that would be an important thing to have in this video. So during the week you'll find me at uni studying a Bachelor of Contemporary Music Practice. Yes, music takes up my whole life. I'm studying it, I'm making it at home and at uni, and it takes up a lot of my life, and honestly I'm fine with that. Apart from music, you'll find me either reading or watching TV. I've really got into RuPaul's Drag Race over the quarantine time. Let me tell you, I am obsessed with the Rosé, and I hope she wins season 13 of Drag Race. So the final thing that I'm going to talk about are the things that motivate me. One of the biggest things that motivates me is trying to make an impact in the world that I live in, because if I'm honest, we're living in some pretty depressing times, and so if I can even just make one person smile, that would be the best news I've ever heard. Some non-musicians that inspire me and motivate me is this amazing guy called Mitchell Coombs. You may know Mitchell as the Broken Gate guy, but he does this podcast with another Mitchell and Jenna called Is It Just Me? You can find Is It Just Me on the Apple Podcasts app or wherever you get your podcasts. Such a funny podcast. The podcast is probably one of my favorite podcasts that I've ever listened to, and it's definitely not a waste of time. I'm also motivated by my friends and family. They play such an important role in my life, especially my 2 younger brothers. They're absolutely amazing and probably the most considerate people and nicest people that I've ever met. So I can't wait to see them as adults and have an amazing life. So Song of the Week is a segment that I plan on doing at the end of all my videos, and it's just saying a song that I think y'all should listen to this week. And this week's song is Stuck by Payne. It's such a great song. I'll chuck the song's Spotify link down in the description box, as well as her social media, so be sure to check her out. But that's it for today's video, so if you did enjoy it, please give it a big thumbs up down below. And if the things that I spoke about today and just who I am interests you, feel free to hit the subscribe button and follow along on the journey. But until next time, bye y'all.